Hi kids, it's another Drawing with Miss Leochner lesson. We're going to continue talking about pop art, and today, if you notice, I kind of look like I might be trapped in a comic book a little bit. That's because our artist, Roy Lichtenstein, today did lots of artwork that was inspired in the comic book style. He often would take one scene and draw it like it was in a comic book and then even add the caption bubble above it, just like a comic book would have had with a small sentence in it. If you've ever noticed in the art hallway at school, you might have seen a Roy Lichtenstein poster. And we're going to look at a few of his artwork today, and then you get to draw yourself like a comic book character. So let's settle in to learn about Roy Lichtenstein, and then after that, all you will need is some paper and a pencil and whatever you choose to color your project in, whether it's crayons or markers, whatever you have at your house. So let's go learn about Roy Lichtenstein and then create a comic book pop art. This is Roy Lichtenstein. He also was involved in the pop art movement. He took his inspiration from comic books and everyday scenes in American life. He often put humor into his artwork, making people laugh or think about everyday life. Towards the end of his life, Lichtenstein changed his style and created artworks more like the surrealism artists like Salvador Dali we talked about, or the cubism of Pablo Picasso. This was one of Roy Lichtenstein's early art pieces. This is Popeye the Sailor Man, and he is in a fight, just like he would get in the cartoon series. Roy Lichtenstein was inspired by the cartoon series Popeye to create this piece, but he did not directly copy from it, and that's really important to remember in his artwork. Even though it looks like a scene out of a cartoon or a comic book, all of Roy Lichtenstein's artwork is his own unique creation. This was one of Lichtenstein's first comic book style paintings. The girl is obviously upset, as you can see by the tears in her eyes, and she's must be drowning or sinking. Her thought bubble above her head says, "I don't care, I'd rather sink than call Brad for help." And Brad was kind of a common character in this style of his pop art. We'll look at another girl referencing Brad as well in a picture you may have seen at school. This is Roy Lichtenstein's painting called Masterpiece. Again, we see that comic book style of how the people are drawn and how he filled in the colors with bright colors like the pop art movement. And then the girl, of course, is talking to the ever-famous Brad. She says, "Why, Brad, darling, this painting is a masterpiece. My, soon you'll have all of New York clamoring for your work." So today, what we're going to do is we're going to make our own comic book drawing, just like Roy Lichtenstein. So you'll need to grab some paper, markers, or crayons to color in your picture, as well as a pencil to draw with. Okay, now we're going to draw our Roy Lichtenstein inspired cartoon drawing. I've decided to use a black marker, but again, you can use whatever you have at your house. And we're going to draw comic book style pictures. So I was thinking with his comic book style that superheroes are usually in comic books. So I'm going to draw a made-up superhero art for my comic book. So I'm going to start by drawing a little mask. I was kind of inspired by the idea of the Incredibles with their little masks they wear. And draw my eyes. And remember, we do want it in that comic book style, so we're not going to have realistic looking eyes. I'm going to draw a nose here. And then I'm going to give my superhero a big smile. And I think what I'm going to do is turn my superhero into Pizza Boy. So I'm going to draw the hair now at the top, and I'm going to do this spiky triangle shaped hair because that's the shape of pizza. And draw the ear using a C shape and then a smaller C shape. And then I'm going to connect my face all the way around using a U shape. And now I'm going to draw the neck. I'm going to make a cape coming off because superheroes often have capes. I'm just using wavy lines for that. And then I'm going to draw the arms out. I'm going to use a rectangle shape. And then my rectangle gets a little smaller towards the end where the hands are. And then just remember, we use U shapes for the fingers. And draw the body. And I think in this arm here, I'm going to draw kind of an L shape, backwards L shape going up. And then over here, before I draw my hand, I'm going to draw a slice of pizza. And then curve my hand around and do those U shapes again so it looks like he's holding on to the pizza. And then draw the rest of his body. I'm going to put a piece of pizza here on his superhero outfit. And how about some shorts? And maybe we'll do little pizzas all over them. And then some superhero boots to wear. Now, if you remember, Roy Lichtenstein also always had a caption of something. So I'm going to draw my caption bubble over here. And then I'm going to write in here what I want Pizza Boy to be saying. And I'm going to have him say, power up with pizza. And then to add to the comic book style, I can go around the edge of my paper and just draw the frame that the comic book is in. And then if I want to, I can add a background, or I can just leave it as it is and color it all in. And that is drawing our pop art cartoon character.